X Factor is coming soon, but what about the Eternals? We're also talking about Dark Dimension and countering the Black Order, along with the rest of your questions from the Mailbag channel on the Discord server. So if you're ready for that, find that like button and let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
Whoa, yeah, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I hope you are having a great day. Hope you had a great weekend. And if you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, and I hope you're having a great Cyber Monday as we do this video, guys. So yes, awesome stuff. Now, if this is your first time on this channel, we do Marvel Strike Force. If you're looking for more tips and tricks, make sure you subscribe to the channel with that big subscribe button down below and click on that notification bell so you get notified every time there's a new video on this channel. But without further ado, let's just jump right ahead to all of your questions from Discord, ladies and gentlemen. All right, first question of the week. What is up from Kentucky? When is BlueStacks, one of your sponsors, finally going to support Mac OS? Well, I think they actually do support Mac OS. There's a way that you could download BlueStacks just from their website for Mac. And I have heard that it works properly, but unfortunately, with the affiliate link down below, it goes to download Marvel Strike Force on BlueStacks for your PC. Not sure why they don't have it available for both, or with that download option to give you the option to download it for PC or BlueStacks or Mac, excuse me. But yeah, it is available for Mac. It's just I'm not sure why they don't let the affiliate link go towards Mac. It's just for PC. But yeah, you can use BlueStacks on your Mac, brother. Next question. Does putting healer class on Symbiote Spider-Man make his passive healing go from 3 to 8% at level 1? No, it does not. If you look at his passive, that's 3% healing for Dark Dimension, but that's passive healing. The healing tag on the ISO 8 is only for active healing, so increasing that is not going to increase his passive healing that he does with his passive. But if he was a healer and doing something with one of his skills to heal characters, that would increase that. So he's still going to get that healing that he does on turn for every character, the lowest health character. But yeah, the active healing, or excuse me, the passive healing for Symbiote Spider-Man does not go up with the ISO 8 class, brother. All right, aloha from Maine, bro. What is up, brother? A bit of speculation here. I'm betting Eternals will be the next big meta, perhaps even Black Order killers once the movie is out. It's hard to say which characters will make it into the game, and the movie release will depend on COVID, but it would be cool to see them buzzsaw their way through the Black Order teams. Any rumors that you could comment on? There's no rumors I've heard about the Eternals, so there's nothing for me to comment on, but I do fully expect them to come to the game, and I think it would be fitting, just judging by their power in the MCU, and not the MCU yet, but what I think they're going to have as far as power in the MCU and their current power in the comics. I think they're going to be very strong once they come to the game. So I think it would be fitting once they actually do come to Marvel Strike Force that they are the counters to Black Order, unless somebody's countering them before the Eternals finally comes to the game. And I think it will have a lot to do with the tie-in for the movies, but with COVID, all this quarantining and stuff, who knows when that is going to be. Hey, Valley from OKC, what is up from TX? Take a little closer look at the rewards for DD4 compared to the gear crafted pieces we get from DD3 to what we get from DD4. Seems like a nerf to the rewards for finishing harder content. They're definitely not as appealing, except for Doom. They're not as appealing as Dark Dimension 3 was, and I think it's because that you have that big carrot at the end of there with Dr. Doom. You had Ultron with Dark Dimension 2, Dr. Doom with Dark Dimension 4, and nothing for Dark Dimension 3 as far as characters. So I think they had to increase that a little bit. But while we're getting a pretty good character in Doom, why did it cut back in the rewards for completing the event? Yeah, just it's because we're getting a character. From what I remember, and maybe I'm remembering this wrong, the rewards for Dark Dimension 2 weren't that impressive, but it was Ultron that you're trying to get. So I think that's where their thinking is, because yeah, they were kind of underwhelming as far as that, but we do get a character, so I'm thinking that's why they cut back on the rewards a little bit. I guess we'll see what would they do when Dark Dimension 5 comes to the game at some point, see if it's a character release or just stuff, just gear, resources like it was for Dark Dimension 3. But I think that is why, because we have Dr. Doom in the as a reward for that game mode, brother. Hey, Valley from Connecticut, first time asking a question on your Discord channel. Thank you for asking the question, brother. I'm wondering if it'd be worth it to gear 14 Magneto for my second run through Dark Dimension 3. Currently, I have Phoenix, Colossus, Mr. Sinister, Emma Frost, and Ultron. I'm ready to start node 3. Was wondering which node Magneto would be better on, node 7 or node. You're starting node 7. Wondering if it's node 7 or node 8, which Magneto is better on. So node 7 is just about controlling those 2 Iron Fists, and luckily, unlike node 3 where you got a bunch of Miss Marvels dropping once, you have those Iron Fists dropping at separate times. If you're aware that you got to kill one Iron Fist before another one pops up, node 7 you could kind of get around it. Node 8 though is a real pain, and one character that helps you get through that is Magneto. If you look at some of the top scores on that node, on node 8, Magneto is involved in many of those teams, and he's just an asset to that. He'll definitely help you get through node 8 quicker. But with what you have, Phoenix, Colossus, Mr. Sinister, Emma Frost, and Ultron, that's a good team. Might not be able to one-shot it with that team, but you should get through that in a few days and save some of your resources. Now, if you're thinking of using Magneto in Dark Dimension 4 or other content, and it's going to be valuable to you outside of Dark Dimension 3 to get Magneto up to gear 14, then do it. But if you're not going to use him, if he's going to sit on maybe a Brotherhood 2.0 team for war offense and that's about it, yeah, you probably could skip Magneto because you're going to get through Dark Dimension 3 anyway, brother. So hopefully that helps you. What is up, Valley? Do you think we'll ever get a shard orb for Arena/War store similar to how we have for Raid and Blitz? Why don't you do all the same for all the stores? So if we go all the way back to beta, there was no arena as we know it. The arena that was in the first few patches of beta was Blitz, what we know as Blitz today, and then they had the raids there. So those are the 2 oldest stores, and those are the stores that have orbs. So what I'm thinking, maybe they forgot to do that for arena when it came out, and that came out, I think, in either the 2nd or 3rd patch during the beta, and they just never got around to it. Now, I don't know if Arena necessarily needs an orb. I think it would be beneficial to new players. I wouldn't be opposed if they wanted to add something like that. But they're doing some different things with Blitz because you need to buy war resources. You also have that orb in there that they've been releasing a couple exclusive characters like they did with Rescue, like they're currently doing with Domino. I think that's why they're going to keep the raid, the Blitz store there. And Arena, I guess, I'm not sure if it's necessary. It'll help new players, though, so I think it would be a good thing. Now, as far as War, because it's a rotating list of characters, I think that is something that is needed in the game right now. Honestly, the reason I think they haven't added it is because there hasn't been enough of an outcry from the community to add something like that. It's benefiting new players a lot, and I think they should add that kind of as a catch-up mechanic for newer players that maybe don't have all the war resources to spend on everything in the store. So I hope they add that for War, but I think it comes down to as simple as that. Raid and Blitz are the 2 oldest stores that we have in the game right now. The 2 newer places, Arena and War, and I say relatively new because they're not as old as the other one. They may have just forgot, or maybe they didn't know how to code having another orb in the store. That's probably not it, but yeah, I just think there wasn't enough of an outcry when those 2 stores got added that there wasn't an orb there, so they never went back and fixed it. Unless there's a big outcry, some rage from the community, not sure if they're gonna divert some of their man hours towards doing that store, but it would definitely help newer players. I think this should be added there. Hey, a long time watcher, first time question to your channel, and thanks for streaming content. I'm glad you like the stream. Join the Valley Club, guys. ValleyFlyin 76 on Twitch every weekday morning, and hopefully you guys can stop by. Advice, please. With 9 alien spores, do I focus on gear 15 for symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage, or Venom, or push anti-Venom to gear 14, Scream to gear 13, keep smashing it? All right, so this answer is going to be dependent on where you are in the game. If you've already done Dark Dimension 3 and are looking both times and are looking to enter Dark Dimension 4, I think you should save it and gear 15, probably symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage in that order. Maybe save on Venom. If you've not done it already and looking to get through that a little quicker, you can get anti-Venom up to gear 15 or get him up to 14, Scream up to gear 13, because that's going to help you in Raid. So really this answer depends where you are. Personally, I got all my symbiotes at the gear 14 so they could help me in the raids right now. That's something you're going to do every single day, and that's something you're going to be doing after Dark Dimension is you're done with Dark Dimension. So I like balancing out my team, but for you and anybody else that's watching, it would depend on what you're using these characters in right now, and if you're having trouble with any of the content. Because if you're going with a Gear 13 Scream and you're finishing the raids, no problem. There's no real reason to upgrade that character, and just save and start prepping for DD4. Yes. So yeah, it depends where you're at, but I like personally, I like my team kind of balanced there, especially with a symbiote team. But the power you want to kind of spread across all the symbiotes. Next question. Happy holidays. Haven't submitted a question in a while. Was wondering if you could create a list of the top characters that you would have T4s for all of their abilities. So far, I have characters like Ultron, Thanos, Sinister, Black Bolt, Hela, Anti-Venom, and Symbiote Spider-Man. So I have all of those characters with max T4s except for Hela. I don't have her. What do I not have? I don't think I have her basic there. So, yeah. So curious who you have at max T4 and who you plan to. So there's a few characters that have a max T4. Thanos we mentioned, Black Bolt we mentioned, Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom. Proxima is another character that I have at max T4. And the reason I did Proxima because I didn't know that the special overlapped with Ebony Maw at the time, because as soon as that character was released, all the T4s, and I didn't know, we didn't even know what Ebony Maw's kit was. So that was one I would recommend against going max T4s, but the special, having that T4 in there with that offense down kind of helps once in a while. Sinister is another character that I have at T4 that you have as well, max T4s. Colossus is another one. That one was done by mistake. That special, not very good. Adding another counter, that was a T4 that I did when the game was slow once, and I was trying to farm Colossus, and it didn't register, and I actually didn't hit the T4. Sent in a customer request to I sent in a request to customer service. They weren't able to help me, so just left it. But yeah, that's not one. Other characters I have: Scream, Anti-Venom, did that one, both of them on day one. X23, building up X23 because I think with this real-time arena that's coming, that's tied to Battle Pass, I think she's going to be very, very important. So I T4'd all of her abilities, especially in PvP. She's a beast in PvP. So that one, Ultron, like most people, is done. And surprising, Merc Lieutenant. Now, because the minion only has 3 T4s, but very, very important to that Merc team on ward defense for those T4s with some healing, some extra speed, and does some very good things with that. So there's a couple other characters that I have with almost all max T4s. The only one I'm thinking of putting into to max her T4s is Emma Frost. Have 3 out of 4. Don't have her basic right now. All that does is damage. So if I notice that I'm using her a lot and it's justifying those T4s in her to increase that damage slightly, I will do that one. So just word of caution, guys, when you're putting your T4s on your characters, just put it on a character that you're using it a lot, because I'd rather put it on a character that I'm using a lot, a skill that I'm using a lot, even if it's not as good as some other skills, but usage outweighs a lot for me. So if I'm even Ebony Maw, that basic, it's an okay T4, but I'm using that basic so often that it made it worth it for me. So if you're using a character, I think that would justify, possibly, especially if you're using all the skills of that character, it would justify maxing the T4s, but it's going to be based on an individual usage. So if any of these characters that I mentioned that I have T4'd that you're not using a lot, it's not worth maxing out. The T4s, I think, are a highly individualized thing. And like taking a character up to Gear 13, Gear 14, like we previously mentioned, it needs to, you need to have that justified with usage, and making sure that having that T4 on that character is going to allow you to do something that T4 not on that character is keeping you back from. So hopefully that helps. It's highly individualized. Is putting that T4 in going to help you do some content that you can't do? I would do it. If not, then probably hold off on it. It's never wrong to save if you have a plan for later, or if you want to just max out a character, if there's an amazing character like I did with the symbiotes. Yeah. So that is my recommendation. Just usage. Base it on your usage. Hey, Valley, regarding AV and Scream T4 abilities, can you show yours and explain the reasons why you chose those? Also, the order you still remember. Deeply confused by those T4 infographics. Can't decide which one I should do. Thanks for the help. So I've done all of them on Scream and Anti-Venom, and those were day one or as soon as I got them to level 70, they had all their T4s maxed out because I knew I would be using this team a lot, and I use them every single day in the raids. And with this event going on, with this parasitic symbiosis event going on right now, using them in arena once in a while as well. So I did them all. I think I did them. It wasn't in order. So let's go into my account so you can see what I've done, and it is all order. And as far as the order for Anti-Venom, I think the best one right here is going to be his passive. I think let's move the camera here so you can see what it does. Clearing one negative effect from the most injured ally. If that ally is a symbiote, clear one negative effect from all other symbiote allies. Very, very important, especially in the raids, especially in actually every game mode, because you want to remove those negative effects. They don't really have a way to clear off debuffs from your team except for Anti-Venom. The ultimate is also very, very good. We're doing more damage, more regeneration, spreading all positive effects to all symbiote allies. So that is very, very good. Instead of just a few symbiote allies, it's very good one. So, and we also got his special and his basic. They're all good. You got this one at max level as well, reviving a dead symbiote with 60% base health instead of 30. So that's going to help with that survivability in raids. If something goes wrong in battle, you get your ally revived. 60% health means that he's not going to die immediately unless it's like a harder raid or something. But yeah, it helps give you a chance that he's not going to get one-shotted once he comes back to life. And then this basic. Now, this basic, I think, is a little underrated. You're getting 50% extra damage to the primary target. You're applying the opposite of 2 random negative effects. But one thing that this does, and this is very important if you have the right ISO 8 on this character, it's going to really significantly increase the counter and assist damage that this move does. Not all T4s do it on the basic, but some of them do it. This one increases it pretty significantly. So the order you could argue on, I think I'll go passive, ultimate, special, and then basic for Anti-Venom, but I think eventually you should do all of them, especially if you're using this team. And like I said to the previous question about T4s, usage is more important than how good the T4 is, because if you have an awesome T4 but you're never using the character, not worth it. Let's go to Scream. And like I said, I did all of the T4s on Scream, and this is what we're working with here. If you take a look, I think his ultimate is the best one, or her ultimate is the best one. More damage to the primary, secondary targets, applying slow for 2 turns to the primary and secondary targets. So damage is nice, but slow for 2 turns instead of 1 turn. Very, very good stuff. We take a look at this special here, which is also very good. 40% damage, primary, secondary targets, clearing 2 positive effects on the primary and secondary targets instead of clearing 1 positive effect. So another important one, especially if you're dealing with a lot of buffs like you're seeing in the raids in Ultimate 7. The basic is another very good one. You're getting more damage, and this is a move that I'm using a lot with Scream, so usage definitely justifying that. Applying bleeds to the to secondary targets as well instead of just applying it to the primary is very good. So all of these are worth it. The one that I like the best, I was very bullish on in the beginning, but it just doesn't seem to be, in practice, doesn't seem to be doing as well. Probably should have looked at the base stats before I did this one, but this is probably the least valuable of the T4s for Scream. You probably could skip this one. Again, I like investing in T4s that I'm using a lot. And this one does, this one does affect me a lot. The tiny little extra bit of healing helps a little bit, and because I'm using this team so much, did. But if you're not using them as much as I am, you definitely could skip that move. ValleyFlyin, what's your favorite holiday pie bad food? Ooh, well, my wife made cheesecake this Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna have to put that near the top of the list. I like a good cheesecake, and in holiday times, I'm normally eating turkey, and just from growing up, turkey goes very well with apple pie and especially pumpkin pie. So I'd have to rank those in my top 3. And yeah, I cheat on my foods every so often. Look at my weight. I'm competing in jiu-jitsu every so often. So 205 is my competition weight. So if it's even if it's the holidays and I'm a little heavier, I'm like, yeah, I should not cheat as much, not eat those pies, things like that. But if I'm underweight, I'm like, Sure. Let's go. I just got to worry about me not feeling as good the next day if I'm eating some bad foods like that, especially with a lot of sugar. Hey, brother, how was your Thanksgiving? It was good. I hope we had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope the rest of you guys had a great Thanksgiving as well. Whether you celebrate or not, I hope your Thanksgiving day was awesome, and I hope you told everyone that you love that you're very thankful for them. But first time question, crucial. My alliance is saying Pimtech isn't worth anything, but I'm seeing hitting hard everyone that's 5 stars. Everyone is 5 stars except Yellow Jacket. Are they good? Are they good? Yes. Are they better than some other teams that you could be prioritizing over this team? For me, they're kind of a lower priority. And I guess the big reason that I'm building them is I want to test them out for you guys. So I'm a little different situation than a normal player because I want to make content for you guys. And that's why I'm getting all of these characters and at least getting them into test mode. So, now, I have seen footage of them punching across against the Asgardians, which means they're tackling an Asgardian team with relatively equal collection power or to that team. So they do have some value. They're decent in war, and they are another blitz team. So they do have some value. They're good. I just don't think they're better than some other teams. And I guess the big reason in building Pimtech or not is, are you going to take them into Dark Dimension 3 or Dark Dimension 4? It could be a Dark Dimension team that becomes farmable later on and allows newer players to get through some of the Dark Dimension content a little earlier. But the big thing is their star level. Because there were rumors very early on, and not from any of the normal rumor sources. There's just a lot of the community speculating, hey, this could be the next legendary unlock because it kind of fits the pattern that they've had. 2 previously farmable characters, 3 brand new characters. We'll see what happens though. Right now I'm kind of 50-50 on those rumors. So I have them. I'm going to get them to 5 stars just in case, but the rumors aren't coming from any of the normal sources. Not seeing it in data mines, not seeing it in devs talk about a new legendary and what the legendary unlock would be. It may not even be decided yet. It may be one of these upcoming teams like the X Factor, but if you believe in the rumors, then you probably should build them just for none other than they could potentially be a legendary unlock. If you don't believe the rumors, don't build them because I don't see a ton of value. Like I said, they're a good team, but there's better teams you could be investing your resources in. ValleyFlyin, salutations from England. What is up, brother? Wow, Longshot, never saw that coming, even though he's my favorite X-Men character of all time. However, with the creation of X Factor and the nonsense, including Longshot and Shatterstar, who have never been members of the team, my question is, how much approval oversight do Marvel have? So I don't know for sure, but I've heard of devs say different things, and talking to them in meetings that they've had with the envoys and just meetings that they've had personally. And it seems like Marvel does have a lot of control and has final say over everything. Even when I was applying back to be in that envoy program, it was Marvel that needed to approve us, not Fox Next at the time. Marvel needed to approve us. So I think Marvel has say over everything that goes on in this game and in the community. Now, at the start of, is this the start of Fox Next Scopely just making up stuff to suit them rather than following the canon? So no, it's not the start. They haven't followed any previous canon for a while. There's elements of the MCU in this game. There's elements from the comics in this game, but the Marvel Strike Force universe is different from both of those, which is why certain characters have certain tags, certain characters that were not on teams in the comics or MCU, they're on certain teams in this game. There's different synergy with characters and things like that. So it's done this for a while, ever since very early on. So yeah, but I think Marvel has to approve all the stuff that goes on in the game. Greetings from Montana, brother. Greetings. Where is Call Obsidian? They've taken Proxima Carve as 6-star since they became farmable. I'm just waiting on Call. But a side note, who would be a good 5th? If you don't have Call, it's going to be tough because that's not a full Black Order team. One of the things that you really get benefit from on that team is Thanos. So if you don't have Call there, he's not getting that empowered state. As far as when he's going to be farmable, I'm hoping in December. It looks like we're getting Red Skull a little later this week in Doom Chapter 1, replacing Thor in that game mode. So who is the other character in December? They've said 2 characters. every month. I'm hoping it's Cull. I'm hoping it's somewhere easy like an arena store or blitz store. I'm thinking the most likely scenario is Doom Chapter 3 whenever that comes out, or the War store. They tend to put a lot of good characters in the War store to make you choose between that character shards or gear. So we'll see what happens. That's just a guess, though. If you guys have other guesses, let me know in the comments. Where in the world is Cull Obsidian, ladies and gentlemen? Next question, what happened to 3x speed? The camera is zooming all around, can't even tell what's going on select characters. So there's an option that you could change that. And I'm going to show you. We're going to go into a battle in just a little bit because of the questions coming up. But yes, once we go into the battle, I'm going to show you exactly how to switch that camera, because that is a setting that you could switch. Next question, hope all is well with you and yours. Hope you had a great, safe holiday. Same to you, brother. Same to all of you guys out there. And I know we have some international viewers, so whether it's a holiday or not, hope you had a great weekend. I was wondering, what was the best anti-Black Order team for Arena post ISO 8 in your opinion? And thanks, and keep on smashing. So best Black Order counter, in my opinion, is the Black Order. That's the team that's been most consistent for me. I've gotten the biggest punch-ups consistently with Black Order. There are some teams, but from my experience, a lot of RNG involved, and I'm not winning consistently. I'm not able to punch up as big with some of these other teams. And the next question, related. We're going to go into battle right after this, guys. Hey, Valley, any tips on Black Order versus Black Order in Arena? Do you go Cull first up? No, I don't go Cull first up when I'm using Black Order against Black Order, but we're gonna do it. I'm going to show you and kind of narrate what is going through. Have just over 500k Black Order, struggled to punch up more than 20k. So the T4s are important, but let me just say the red stars are very important. I started off 5 red stars on Thanos and was able to counter the Black Order with some slight punch downs and even power. Once I got that 6th red star on Thanos, was able to punch up a little bit more, but there was kind of a limit of how much I was able to punch up. Once I got that 7th red star on Thanos, though, it doesn't matter. I can beat pretty much any team with the Black Order, and blitz is pretty much auto. Even if I see a Black Order matchup in there, it is a very big punch up. So that's Thanos, for some reason, very big stars. Now I got very lucky early on, got a 6 star on Cull Obsidian, and I bought his offers. I did well in blitz, so I have a 6 gold 6 red Cull Obsidian, so that may be making a difference. But from my experience, the stars on Thanos really mattered. But like I said, we're going to go into battle. I'm going to show you how to do that camera thing to set up your settings, and then we'll see what I do in my battle, my mirror match versus the Black Order, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so here we are in Arena right now in my account, and I'm looking for the biggest punch-up that I could find. No Boomer is the biggest punch-up. I don't know if I want to hit him. It's still a little bit of a punch down. I think we're going to end up punching down in this video, though. I think the biggest rank I saw was 25, so let's go and do this, and it doesn't matter too much, unfortunately. All right, here we go. It's a slight punch down. Normally, I would be using my symbiotes for this battle just because of the parasitic symbiosis milestones that are going in. But yeah, this should be a pretty easy battle. Let's go, and I'll show you kind of my thought process. This is where I'm using them right now as far as placement. I've experimented with a few different placements, but that's what works the best for me on offense. Slightly different on defense, though. All right, so here we are, Black Order versus Black Order mirror match. And now real quick, before we start this match, you press the game, you could choose where your dynamic camera is. So on 3x speed, you want to make sure this is off, or yeah, it could get very dizzy. I have the 1x on, 2x is off, and 3x is off. So that's what I think works the best. But if you want some crazy camera angles, then turn that on. Sometimes I accidentally hit this X, and I'm wondering why it's going so crazy, but this is very important. But without further ado, we're already 30 seconds out of battle, guys. So where I want to target. So for this placement right here, I'm going to go after the squishies. I love it when they have Proxima, Corvus, and Maw that I can hit all of them, and they have Cull and Thanos on the side. But in this one, we're going to have to go after Cull and Corvus and Ebony Maw. Let's go after him right here. We're trying to get Thanos, to flip our debuffs, our buffs first, and do that flip very quick. So we want to draw them out. We want stuff on our characters. So normally I would go after Proxima, drop him down. Let's go after Ebony Maw, see if we can get that death proof off of him and throw him into the yellow to get more hits on Thanos. There we go. And does it timing was not right there. So let's keep working on Maw. Maybe we could kill him, and it does. Oh, it kills Corvus. So that is good. Trying to get the flip. The important thing when using the Black Order is the timing of Thanos's flip. So it didn't really work out as far as I wanted there. The placement kind of is unconventional. Normally I like to hit all three at once, and it's getting these squishies down very, very quickly. Let's go with the black, with the Ebony Maw, the special there, and now we're gonna flip. Boom. Here we go. This should actually kill Maw once he takes a turn. There we go. And we're in really, really good shape here. Let's see if we can clear off some of the buffs off of Call Obsidian. Doesn't clear off the taunt, but he still has those regenerations there. They are gone, which means that his resistance is down big time. Let's get our own Call Obsidian with the taunt. Oh, big move from Thanos. It kills Proxima Midnight, unfortunately, but fortunately for us, our Ebony Maw is still alive. Boom. And there it is. There's a stun from Proxima on Call Obsidian. I hate when that happens, and I love when my Proxima can stun their Call Obsidian. Big hit from their Call Obsidian on our Ebony Maw. Nothing protecting him except for this taunt on Call Obsidian. But boom, let's drop Thanos on. And we killed their Proxima, which is good. Thanos is very, very low health. Let's finish him off with Corvus Glaive right here. Boom. And now it is auto time. And that's how I do Black Order versus Black Order mirror matchups. You got to adjust a little bit, but a lot of it comes down to the timing. And I don't hit call first. I hit some of the squishies first in Black Order versus Black Order mirror matches. ValleyFlyin, who's better to have on Fantastic Four outside of war between Namor and She-Hulk? Well, this is a question that's tough for me to answer because She-Hulk, I don't use her at all. I use Namor outside of war. I use Namor on offense with Fantastic Four. In war, I don't use the Fantastic Four on defense. I know they're pretty good if you build She-Hulk up a bunch, but it's just not a character that I wanted to invest a ton of resources in because I still use the Fantastic Four on war offense for some of these other cleanup teams that Fantastic Four can clean up so well. So I don't have first-hand experience to give you advice. So chat, I'm going to have to defer to you on this one. Who, if you have both characters built up equally on your Fantastic Four team, who are you liking better? Namor or She-Hulk? Let me know, because I am curious as well. Maybe it is worth spending some resources on her, but yeah, I did not invest in her right now. Don't plan to, unless I hear something differently from a lot of the community members. Hi, Valley. Greetings from Italy. What is up? From Texas, brother. I finished second run of Dark Dimension 3. Congratulations on that. I know that's a big grind to get through. It's a big milestone in Marvel Strike Force. I don't want to rush for level 80. I look every day the progression of Cabal, Ally, and etc. in Dark Dimension 4. I'm surprised a lot of different PG they're using for now, waiting, hoarding. Let me ask you, what characters do you want to take into Dark Dimension 4? So I'm saving a lot of my resources. Nobody is up to gear 15 yet. I haven't even brought characters up from 12 using a lot of orange gear on other characters. So I am just in a holding pattern. But as far as what I'm thinking, who I want to take in there, is probably going to be Black Bolt, probably going to be Symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage, probably Anti-Venom. Emma is a definite person to bring in there, but I think I'm going to bring a lot of global characters in the beginning, start building these characters up because after those unlimited nodes, those first 3, then you have global. So I'm going to work on global first. So that would mean Emma, maybe Sinister, maybe Ultron, and then we will see. But those are the ones that I'm thinking off the top of my head. But right now, not building anybody. That's what I'm thinking. That may change. It may be a character that's not in the game yet. So I'm just holding all my resources. And unless you're rushing to get up to level 80, or you need them at a higher gear for other content, I would just hold all your orange gear like I am for now. And we will see who gets through it the quickest and who experiments a lot with Dark Dimension 4 and could give the best recommendations for the community and just saving gear, because we don't want that situation like Shield Trooper and Punisher in Dark Dimension 3, guys. Those from people that built those characters up did absolutely nothing for them, didn't help them at all, except for helping them to get in a little quicker. As a new player, almost 90 days, what levels should I aim up for Greek 3s and villains 7-1 through 7-3? So as far as Greek 3s, I am not sure. Hopefully there's someone in Greek 3s right now with the aim that is using them and could give you better recommendations. As far as 7.1 through 7.3, I would say you can probably about 150k is where you want to go with that. Now, I think that 150k that people are using, and there have been people that have done it with less than that, but I think when you're at that 150k level, that has Graviton, and I don't know if you want to be spending some war credits on to unlock Graviton if you're a newer player. I think there's a lot more important characters that help you get some legendary unlocks that you should be investing in as a newer player. So you might have to go above that if you're not using Graviton on that aim team, but definitely using Scientist Supreme, definitely use aim security, and then whatever you have red stars wise, that's probably who I would build, unless you got some a lot of red stars on Infector. You could probably skip Infector, but if you got the other ones, build them up for those. 150k is what I'm hearing from a lot of people as far as the minimum, though. Like I said, there are some people lower, but 150k is around where I'm seeing people take their aims up to. Love the content. Keep smashing with all Hydra characters available. No intention of use any on War offense. What is the best defense composition for Hydra? So we're not talking about Zemo, because I think Zemo is a separate category, because you should be using Zemo on offense, not on defense. But if we're talking just the Red Skull version of Hydra, build up Red Skull, build up minions, and then take out Grenadier. Grenadier belongs on Hydra 2.0 and has some synergy with Zemo there. But Zemo, if you want to make a better defensive team, I think he can help you a little bit. He has a great kit, but he's meant to be used on War offense, and you don't even need the rest of the Hydra team to really make him an awesome character. He could go on a lot of different offense teams. So if you're using Zemo on defense, I think you're doing something wrong. So take him off that team, but keep Red Skull and keep the minions on that team. I think that's what works the best. And build up Zemo for offense, brother. Valley, do you think Scopely will ever let us donate shards to Alliance members? I think this would be great for helping new players out. When I've got most of my roster at 7 stars already, I think purchasing the gold orbs should drop more gold to entice people to purchase more. And if I'm spending 100 energy farming a tune, give me at least 1 shard. All right, so this is a bunch of topics here. Ever donate to your Alliance some shards? I think I don't see it happening soon, but ever is a very long time. And I think this would be a very good catch-up mechanic, especially if you want to start playing with your friends. Say, hey, I got these characters. I'll farm them for you. I'll use some of my energy for you to build up these characters. It would be nice, especially for newer players coming along and allowing them to catch up a little quicker, especially if they get into a big alliance with people that are willing to take them under the wing. Energy farming characters, I mean, sometimes you get bad RNG. There's a lot of times I get 0 shards spending 100 energy on a character, but sometimes I get 8. Sometimes they get a little more if it's a double drop. So I think at the end of the day, it averages out. I think 20% drop rate is what you should expect. I thought back in the day it was about 33% for the drop rate, but it seems more like it's 20%. So keep that in mind, and as long as over time it's adding out to around there, I think that's what it should be. And as far as gold, personally, I'm not struggling with gold too much. I think there's 2 camps of people that are struggling with gold and people that are struggling with training mats. I'm someone that's struggling with training mats, so I don't use a lot of gold. So I have a lot of gold orbs saved up right now that anytime I am running low on gold, I can open 10 orbs and get about 1.8 million gold added to my resources. So they can increase some gold orbs and the amount in gold orbs. I would like that. It would be very good. But yeah, because I know there's a lot of people that aren't like me that are struggling with gold. But I think you're either struggling with gold or training mats. I'm struggling with training mats, but more gold is better. How on earth can FatesFury, who's at 40% done with Dark Dimension 4, only have 5 war MVPs? Seriously, Valley, can you tell us what it's like in Kraken alliances? Do you have any insights? So my alliance is pretty good in war, and they're pretty competitive. I would not consider myself a Kraken alliance, but some of you might, just because I spend money on this game on a monthly basis. A lot of that's for content creation, though, not for personal enjoyment, because I want to make content for you guys, which does give me personal enjoyment, and it does benefit the channel. So I do recoup some of those costs, but don't make a lot of purchases outside of that in the game. So I never consider myself a Kraken, but I guess if you see how much money I spend on this game per month because of the content, then yeah, maybe. But as far as what wars are like, well, I'll tell you what the wars are like in my alliance and some of my previous alliance, because I was in a Pants of Hulk alliance that got a little too competitive for me. So I moved down to a less competitive alliance, and over time, they've all gotten very, very competitive. Even the alliance I'm in now, it started off very casual, but now it's very competitive. So I'm not sure how long I'm gonna last there, but doing pretty good now. Anyway, what it's like. You gotta use your charges. You gotta hit all your attacks before a certain time. That time changes depending on what time zone you start and depending what the stanzas are for your alliance. And we start our wars at 8 p.m. my time, and they're done by 8 a.m. my time. Either we full clear them or they full clear us. A lot of times it's a race to full clear by that, and we need to make 3 purchases of war energy. Sometimes we do 4. I know there's some higher level alliances that require 4 purchases very early on, and that's what it's like. So as far as war MVPs, I think a lot of them are decided by your defensive victories. So if you're getting a lot of people doing silly attacks, then you can get that. Or if you're one of those Kraken alliances, there's only so many alliances at the top, so you're gonna have to get in some matches with alliances that have to punch up at you, that don't have the collection power that your alliance does, and you're gonna get a lot of defensive victories there. So yeah, I had the formulas. Many people sent it to me way back in the day, but I have so much information, it gets lost over time. But as far as the calculation for war MVP, I think a lot of that has to do with defensive wins. And maybe FatesFury is in a room that people attack last, and they don't really get to attack that because they've already lost. So maybe that's why he doesn't get MVP. I don't know. I haven't faced Legion of Cabal, so I don't know what room he's in or what room he normally is in. Valley, all things being equal, would you take Emma or Sinister to 5 red stars? They're both at 4 at the moment. Can decide who to get more benefit in Dark Dimension 3 and eventually Dark Dimension 4. So if you're looking at Dark Dimension, I think Emma has more benefit. She has low cooldowns on both of her skills. Both of her skills are very good. Sinister has higher cooldowns on his clone ability. He has a little higher cooldown on his special as well. So I think you're going to get more benefit out of Emma. Now, you said all things being equal. I'm assuming that your usage of both characters are equal as well. So in that instance, I would take Emma, but Sinister also has some value as well, because not only does he get stronger with those 5 red stars, the clones get stronger as well. So they're both great choices, but I think as far as your Dark Dimensions, Emma's going to give you a little benefit. So all things being equal, I think Emma is the way to go for this one, brother. Hey, Valley, I've been using Patron a lot in War to counter Emma, and I've found War Machine isn't applying the taunt to Sinister all the time, even though I have a T4 in his ability. Can this be resisted? So resistance usually stops enemies from applying debuffs to the characters, but as we know, taunt is green. It should be another mechanic that can be resisted if it's not, but yeah, it shouldn't be resisted because of that, because it's not a debuff that you're applying, it's a buff that you're applying. But maybe because it's the enemy doing it and not a teammate of yours or self doing it, then it's getting resisted. So maybe there's something wrong with the coding in there. But as far as I know, a lot of times Sinister has immunity, and maybe that's stopping, even though it is a buff and not a debuff, maybe that's stopping it from being applied just because it's the enemy doing that. I am not sure. I think I'm going to write into customer service and ask Cerebro about it. But yeah, I have not noticed this a lot. A lot of times, Sinister's one of the last few characters that I end up killing. Strife is the one that I go for first. Once Strife is down that team, it becomes a lot easier. But yeah, I will try to pay attention to this and see if I can get an answer for you on this one, brother. What is good, Valley? What do you think of Scopely? Let us play all the Dark Dimensions after we've beaten both runs once a year for some new rewards and make it challenging. We'd have to beat each one by a certain time. I don't know about you, but those frames are lame. And if you like the idea, pass it on to Scopely. So this is something that's been passed on for a while. It's been mentioned on this Mailbag channel many times. Dark Dimension. The devs, they spend a lot of resources building these game modes. Very complicated for them. They spend a lot of man hours building these, and after we've gotten into it twice, most players don't go back and play this game mode at all. So it seems like a waste. It seems like something they could bring back. Give us minimal rewards so it doesn't break the game, because I know there's some people that could just auto through this, and if it happens too often, then you could have like unlimited resources. But once every month, once every other month, maybe once every quarter, they reset this and give us some minimum rewards, maybe some training mats, things like this. I think it would be good. You invest some time, you get some stuff. So this is something that's been passed on, and hopefully one day they will add this stuff, not only so that we have more content that we could go through, that they've already invested all their man hours to develop, but just so we have a reason to go back and do this stuff and get more resources as well. Hey, Valley, hope all is well. For a video concept, have you considered an interview with Mega Kraken like Tadano Mac? So way back in the day, I did interview the biggest Kraken in the game, Ox, back when he was playing. I think he's stopped playing, and his account is being played by somebody else at this time, which I'm not sure if is against the terms of service. I think it is against the terms of service. But anyway, Mega Kraken like Tadano Mac. Now I know my Mega Kraken friend Remonex has mentioned doing an interview with Tadano Mac, and he knows people in his alliance. I think they've talked. I can't remember if they've talked previously, but I think he's trying to arrange something like that, and I don't want to step on his toes with that, because he's I think he's in the active process of looking for that as soon as Tadano Mac finishes Dark Dimension 4, if he's the first one. So yeah, if Remedex is like, hey, I'm not going to do this video, someone else want to do it, then I might look into it, but I don't want to step on his toes for something that he was already trying to arrange. So, but I will have my Mega Kraken friend Remedex every so often. So definitely talking some Mega Krakens every now and then. All right, have you heard anything about adding Red Star promotions in either store to Ultron or Ultimus? I think you could easily cap Ultron to something like 4 Red Stars for power creep purposes. So the last when I was talking to John Durr Cerebro about this was a while ago, and even back then, even with Black Bolt as a hard counter, even with him kind of falling out of the meta, having Red Stars on him would be overpowered. And this was a few months ago, so maybe not as much nowadays, but Ultron is still a beast. And I think if they were to release Red Stars for Ultron, it would be through some other method. I don't think they're going to be in the promotion store. I don't think they're going to be in any of those orbs. If they do it, I think we're going to have to earn it. Maybe that's what Dark Dimension 5 is all about. Maybe he'll be power creep down enough that you could add Red Stars on Ultron and not have him break the game or really affect the meta of the game. I think the goal of the developers is to entice us to get new characters, not to make previous characters that people have already bought, people already grinded for, make them stronger. So it might be a while, but it could happen. But I think he would need to really fall out of the meta for that to happen, and we will see. We will see. I don't expect it anytime soon, though, brother. Hey, Valley, long time no talk. Anyway, I have a few questions for you. We got a bunch of questions in this one. All right. Do you think they will increase the gold rewards from orbs, like how minimal is 150k, or the 1, 2, 3 million drops, given how they drop new content over and release our level cap, brought it to gear 15? I think they should. Will they? I'm not sure. Like I said, personally, I don't have that bitch of a problem with gold right now, but if I had the training mats, I probably would. My bottleneck right now is training mats, but I think they should. They did that once before. They've increased the bottlenecks, but I think they're increasing the amount of gold orbs we're getting. So I'm not sure if they're going to do both, but yeah, I think they should. Next question: are you or any of the content creators working on an ISO 8 chart for us commoners? And if you would, you include the tips and tricks on what is better, what's better beyond common knowledge? Maybe. I mean, there's two people that are doing these the ISO 8 guides right now. The first is Remedex. He has that spreadsheet that he's constantly updating with a lot of the help from the community. A lot of the higher level guys are helping him test out stuff. So that's updated all the time, and I usually refer to that one. Another great resource that the folks at msf.gg have, if you have that MSF bot on your server, is with the ISO. You could see where people have their ISO 8s on right now. What is the most common for each character? You could sort it by character, you could sort it by team, or you could do overall ISO 8 classes. So it's a few different options there, and it's whatever. I think the default is that squiggly line. Where I have it on my server is an underscore, but it could be different depending on how you set it up on whatever server you're on. But they have that there. So those are the two resources: the MSF bot and the Remedex spreadsheet. And what's up with these X Factor characters? Why is they forcing our hand to building stuff we can't use at the moment? I think that's kind of their job. Their job is to release new characters, make them enticing, make us want them, and make us so frustrated, but not too frustrated to stop playing the game, but so frustrated that we want these things right now that we're willing to spend money on. And that's kind of how these games go, these hero collector games. That's what it's supposed to be. And over time, X Factor may be the next big thing. Maybe it's countering a lot of teams, but few months down the road, there's gonna be another team to counter that. So that's kind of how these hero collector games go. And last question of this set: do you think She-Hulk 4 is a better investment in war defense? Do you think they'll possibly give her a Young Avengers tag because she's greatly underutilized, or she's great but underutilized? Well, I know I'm not utilizing her at all, so I don't have firsthand knowledge of how good they are on war defense. I don't see that team a lot either, and normally when I do, I'm using the original Fantastic Four to counter it. So it's hard to say how great they are on war defense. And as far as her tags, maybe Young Avengers, but I've been hearing about this Gamma team sometime in 2021. So if they do a full Gamma team, I expect her and Hulk to move off of that team and to go on to that team. And maybe that is her final place. I'm not sure if the Fantastic Four is the final place for She-Hulk, brother. Hey, Valley, longtime follower of you and mobile gamer from Saudi. Love the content. Why isn't there a Berserker Rage mode on Wolverine's passive? No idea, brother. It would be super fitting. Would it be great if he's paired with X-23 if her health drops below 25%? If he goes into Berserker Rage where he eats full health, gets a boosted stat in damage and health, then attacks the enemy's highest damage dealer, kind of like Thor. I would love that. I would love if they added something like that. Maybe not just with X-23, maybe any X-Men ally would be cool, but he's just very underwhelming. And I think the reason is because he's a daily login character, so very easy to access for newer players. They do need to play a little while and log in for a while to get him to 7 stars, but free. Just by logging in, you're going to get a Wolverine, and maybe that's why the devs are so resistant to really give him that rework that he deserves. He's an iconic character, and I want those iconic characters to really shine, but in a game like this that characters are always being released, I think as far as sales, they want newer characters to be a little better, but I would like them to go back and rework Wolverine. I think he does need it. Yeah. Get it, especially with all these mutants coming to the game, like you say, brother. And Valley, we've got verification. I know we've got verification. 6 new characters coming to the next patch with the rumor of mutants. More mutants coming. Would you rather have them fill out an X-Men squad or introduce another X-Men mutant team like X-Factor? I think I'd rather have them fill out the X-Factor squad. For the reason is because we know we're getting Shatterstar and Longshot with that X-Factor tag, which means that they are not going to have a home till they have a full team. So I'd rather have them have a full team right now. Some of those X-Men characters are going to be homeless for a little while, but maybe they'll get dual tags for some of these other characters right now. Has Drew heard anything about Jubilee? I've not heard anything from Drew about Jubilee, but that is one of the characters mentioned on the live stream with the Valley Club in chat every single morning. She sparkles. She does sparkle, and that was the rumor that led a lot of chat to be leading towards Jubilee, towards Dazzler, and a few other characters. But yes, there are rumors about her, but I think Dazzler is where a lot of the Valley Club chat is leaning towards right now. So we'll see. I have seen some things about 4 characters. I don't know the other 2 for sure. There's a lot of different possibilities. But that is all I can say about that without potentially doing something that I shouldn't be doing or saying something that I shouldn't be saying. That is it, guys. Big shout out to every one of you that left a question on the Discord server, whether it got answered or not. And I hope you have a great day. Stream every morning, every weekday morning on Twitch, ValleyFlyin76. Follow me on social media to check that out. And I hope to see you there. Give me a Hulk fist bump before you go, baby. ValleyFlyin out.